Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Jon Campea, and this is Open Mic on a Super Bowl Sunday, where we all get to become children of Brady and watch as he enters his 9th Super Bowl. Truly, he is the GOAT. Let's all take a knee for a moment and acknowledge the greatness of the GOAT. Anyway, guys, every day on the Jon Campea Show, we save a little bit of time to take some live questions. But here on Open Mic, that's all we do. We just take live questions and nothing else but live questions. And that's what we're going to do in here today. It looks like my opening theme was on a little bit of a loop there. Anyway, we got that fixed. Anyway, guys, pleasure to have you guys here. As you can see, I am ready for the greatness that is Tom Brady and his New England Patriots to take it to the field against the LA Rams. Honestly, I've got the Rams winning the game. I think the Rams win 35-27, but it doesn't matter because the Patriots under Brady is the GOAT of all time. 9 Super Bowl appearances. Win or lose this game, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. It just don't matter because he's the GOAT, kids. He's the GOAT. Anyway, we got a bunch of other stuff we're going to talk about here today, but I'm going to let all you guys just soak in this image today. Glory be unto Brady, my friends. Glory be unto Brady. All right, let's get things started today, shall we? And we'll get things started here today with Rodrigo Ramirez, who writes, I'm a Seahawks fan, so I hope both teams lose. Tell you what, I'm a Seahawks fan too. I mean, the Patriots are my favorite team, but when Coach Pete Carroll went there, I always liked the brand of football that he makes his teams play. So when he went to Seattle, I kind of started following Seattle because I think they play a really entertaining game of football. I love the Legion of Boom era, and I'm a fan of them. The only way I was going to bet against or cheer against them in the Super Bowl was when they played the Patriots. But I like your thing. I hope both teams lose. Somehow, some way, the Rams and the Patriots will find a way that both of them lose this game. Ike Moore writes, did Spider-Verse make enough for a sequel? I hope so. Well, see, here's the thing. It's not just about how much money did it make. It's about what kind of reception did it get. Because a lot of times what will happen is a studio may see that their movie didn't make a ton of money, but if everybody loved it, then that gives them a lot of confidence to say, okay, if we put out another one, we think it'll do even better at the box office because this one was so beloved. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse made money. Huge amount of money? No. An overwhelming amount of money that would guarantee a sequel? No. But the fact that it made money, and it's like the 4th incarnation of Spider-Man in the last 15 years, with a Miles Morales character that most people don't even know, and the critics loved it, and the audience loved it, that I think pretty much puts a lock on it. I think that puts a lock, so I do think we're going to get a sequel. Ant Banks, 1984, writes, let's see here. You're not fooling anyone, John. You said the Rams would beat the Patriots. Like you said, KC and the Chargers would. I don't think you want to say any will win and jinx it. It just goes the other way. No, I picked the Patriots to win a lot of games. But, I mean, let's be honest. This wasn't the Patriots' strongest season. I mean, the Patriots looked vulnerable. Not to mention they lost their only legitimate big play wide receiver. They brought him in. The guy was a screw up, and now he's out, and that's the risk you take. So I think it was very reasonable. There were a lot of people picking the Chargers to beat the Patriots, and almost everybody was picking the Chiefs to beat the Patriots too. And for good reason. This hasn't been the strongest year for the Patriots, but man, they know how to turn it on when they need to. But honestly, if I had to put $50 down, I would probably guess that the Rams are going to guess. And here's the thing. This is where people don't understand what a real fan is. See, some people have this mistaken idea that a real fan is a fan that just blindly believes their team's going to win no matter what. I don't care what the evidence is. That's not what a real fan is. A real fan is when you cheer for your team whether they win or lose. And you're cheering for them whether you think they're going to win or lose. Patriots may very well lose this game. They may. Actually, I'm thinking they will lose the game. But it don't matter. I'm still going to put on my gear today. I'm still going to be cheering on the GOAT. Whenever we say the GOAT, we got to bow our head for a second. All hail the GOAT. And that's what I'm going to do, win or lose. That's what a real fan is. But no, I actually do think they'll lose, but I certainly think as long as Brady's at quarterback, they got a chance, and I'm going to be screaming my lungs out today regardless. By the way, I should show you guys this, just for any of you who didn't see this. This is a picture Ann and I put up a little bit earlier. There's a little bit of a civil war going on in my house today, ladies and gentlemen. There's a little bit of a civil war going on in my house today. Because Anne, who also cheers for the Patriots quite often, but she ain't cheering for the Patriots over the Rams. So she got her Rams gear on today. We got a bunch of friends coming over today to watch the Super Bowl. And we got ourselves a little old civil war going on in the house today. Well, we will see who prevails. Usually she does. Micah T writes, I finally sat down and watched Game of Thrones. Good for you, man. For the first time in early January, I binged all 7 seasons, and I loved it. Can't wait till April. You know what's funny? Game of Thrones to me is one of those shows that I believe got better and better. Like some people criticize like seasons 6 and 7 a little bit, but I personally, I feel the show gets better and better. I actually think the earlier seasons are kind of the weaker seasons, and I really like those too. But yeah, for me, that's just a show that got better and better. And good timing, Micah. Good timing, just in time for the final season, the final 6 episodes. So good on you, man. All right. Stubble McShave writes, over under 25%. The new Batman is referenced in the Joker movie. Almost 0, because Bruce Wayne is going to be a child, I believe, in that movie. He's going to be young. He's going to be young, a kid. He's not going to be Batman yet. So I'm not going to say 0. I shouldn't say 0. I'll say a 2% chance, but very, very unlikely since there is no Batman yet in that Joker world. Let's see. Mike Hill writes, in the UK, the NFL isn't huge here, but the Super Bowl itself is. Cannot wait for it. I support the Patriots because you do. I know hardly anything about, because you don't know hardly anything about the game. That's okay. That's a good enough reason, Mike. Go Patriots. You know, it's funny. There are sporting events. You know, soccer isn't huge in the United States, but when the World Cup comes around, everybody kind of pays. Like that's true of me too. I'm not really a soccer fan, but when the World Cup comes around, I'll watch it for sure. So I guess that kind of makes sense that it would be the same thing over there in the UK with the Super Bowl. Maybe not everybody watches football, but hey, when the Super Bowl's on, everybody gets into the Super Bowl just like everybody gets into the World Cup around here. Enjoy your day, Mike. Enjoy your day. Senpaigar writes, the Mandalorian is going to have IG-88. Awesome. Yeah, I remember Jon Favreau was about a month ago. Jon Favreau actually revealed that IG-88, the android bounty hunter, is going to be in Mandalorian. I'm not going to get too excited about that, though, because is he just going to make a cameo appearance? Is he going to be the main antagonist for a couple episodes? Like, I just don't know. So, but cool. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not going to get too terribly excited about it when I don't know to what extent IG-88 is going to be in it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Ricardo Ramirez writes, hey, John, greetings from Maryland. Well, greetings, Ricardo. Love your show and keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much, man. Been in bed all day watching the companion videos and now just waiting for the Super Bowl. It's a good day, my friend. A day hanging out, watching movie fan community material, whether it's mine or some others, it's okay. But it's particularly good when it's mine. Good on you. And it's Super Bowl Sunday, man. It's Super Bowl Sunday, where we all get to become, even in defeat, the Rams, I should say, get to become children of Thanos. I mean, it's great. They get to become children of the GOAT in this one. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. And I hope you have a wonderful, relaxing, fun day, Ricardo. All right, Senpaigar writes, love that they made Han shoot first in Solo. Yeah, you know that was on purpose, right? Look, it's funny. Robert Meyer Burnett and I, we were driving in my car the other day because we were going to lunch. And we were both just like, there are some people that just want to give credit to Solo because they're really diehard Star Wars fans. And then there are some people who want to discredit Solo just because they didn't like what happened in The Last Jedi. But me and Robert just going, I don't understand any of those things. Solo, forget if you're a big Star Wars fan or if you're a Star Wars hater. Solo, you don't need to be a big Star Wars fan to appreciate Solo, and you don't need to be a Star Wars. Solo is just a good movie. It's a good space adventure, fun movie. And they did put a couple of cool little winks of the eye in there, including the Han shooting first thing. So that was pretty cool. Senbaigar also follows up, I would like to see Henry Cavill as James Bond. Hey, listen, he's been my pick for a while. I love the idea of Henry Cavill as James Bond. And remember, a lot of people forget this, but he was going to be James Bond. He was the second pick. He was the second choice to play James Bond. When they picked Daniel Craig, they came this close to picking Henry Cavill. It came down to those two. It came down to Daniel Craig and it came down to Henry Cavill. And it went to Daniel Craig, ended up being my favorite James Bond of all time. But I would love to see, look, there's a lot of actors who they could announce as James Bond next, and that I would be very excited about. But Henry Cavill is absolutely one of those names. Like, I don't care. As long as they get a great actor, that's all that matters. That's all the important thing. But yeah, man, we've been talking about Henry Cavill as James Bond for a long time, and I think he would do a great job. If you haven't seen Man from U.N.C.L.E., that's kind of his resume to be James Bond, I think. All right. Snake Jerusalem writes, you should go to Star Wars Celebration. The fans attending it are probably happy with the new movies, so they can't be the same scum that is toxic online. Well, I mean, look, you can be a Star Wars fan and not like the new movies. Just not liking the new movies doesn't make you toxic. There are a lot of people I know who just don't like, The Last Jedi or whatever, and they're not toxic. They just don't like the movie. It didn't work for them, and they were disappointed in it. There's nothing toxic about that. But there are a lot of toxic people out there, and there are toxic people on both sides. There are toxic people who are, anyway, there's a lot of toxicity to go around. And I just found, I just got real disheartened with the Star Wars fan community. I really did. It just became, there's enough toxicity that just can choke you out. And I just didn't feel like going to Celebration this year. Which really sucks because I loved Star Wars Celebration Orlando. I had such a good time there. And it makes me sad that I'm not going to go, but I'm not going to go. And you know what? And that's okay anyway, because my April is super packed. At the beginning of April, I got to go to CinemaCon, which is like the best movie event of the year. CinemaCon in Las Vegas. They bring all the talent, all the movies. All the studios highlight their upcoming year, show you footage, blah, blah. It's the best movie thing of the year. And then that's in from April 1st through 4th. And then on April 5th, also in Las Vegas, is NAB, the North American Broadcast, where they show off all the broadcasting and tech gear. And I try to get out to that every year. So I'm already going to be away from home for almost 2 weeks. So, yeah, but even if it wasn't, I don't think I'd be going to Celebration. But I hope everybody who does go has a marvelous time. Stubble McShave writes, I can kill again. You've given me a reason to live. That's from Hot Shots Part 2. One of probably the greatest line in that movie, though, is Saddam Hussein going, now I will kill you until you die from it. It's such a ridiculous line. I love it, but I can kill again. You've given me a reason to live. Well, at least I think that's from Hot Shots Part 2. Anyway, I believe that's Hot Shots. Beeper Beeper 5 writes, what do you hope to see in rumored Endgame spot? I don't care. I don't bring with me a bag of expectations that they should put this in the trailer, because then you're just setting yourself up. So I don't really think in those terms, and I don't think along those lines. So I got nothing specific. I just want to see whatever it is they're going to show us. That's it. I want to see whatever they're going to show us. I still don't think they're going to play an Endgame. I don't know this at all. They very well could play an Endgame trailer, but I don't think there's going to be an Endgame spot in the Super Bowl. They might release one on YouTube around the Super Bowl, but I don't think they're going to do one in the Super Bowl. We'll wait and see. Hopefully I'm wrong. We're going to find out in just a couple of hours, because I would love to see one. Senpaigar writes, it's showtime patrolling your neighborhood every Friday night at 8. Eddie Murphy, I would like a new partner like me and Wesley Snipes type. I love Showtime. For some reason, Showtime has come up a couple times in the last few weeks. I love that movie. I think it's Eddie Murphy, Robert De Niro together. It's great. I love it. And I don't think it got a very good reception when it first came out, from the audience or from critics. And I don't think it did all that great at the box office. But for whatever reason, it's just one of those movies that I watched and it just totally worked for me. It just worked for me. Okay. Let's move on here. Santez Henderson writes, let the past die, kill it if you have to. That's not a bad philosophy Kylo has. In some ways, his philosophy aligns with Luke's about how the Jedi teachings are flawed and need to be changed. Yeah, but Luke also kind of, I think after his chat with Yoda, I think that whole philosophy was starting to change. Because remember, Yoda, first of all, he tried to save the Jedi texts, even though Rey already took them. He changed his mind. He tried to save the Jedi texts, and he just thought nothing, no Jedi, nothing. But then in his, over the course of his conversation with Yoda, he realized, no, the Jedi do have to endure, and I will not be the last Jedi. So there is a little bit of a difference in philosophy there by the end. There was a very pessimistic philosophy that Luke started to develop because of the tragedy in his past. And they gave in a bit to despair. And that's one of the reasons why I love, that's the thing I love. I don't love The Last Jedi, but that's something that I do love about The Last Jedi, was the way they handled Luke, and they treated him like a real human character, struggling with things. And I just thought the stuff they did with Luke, and there's plenty of issues I have with The Last Jedi, but the way they handled Luke, I thought was the absolute best thing about that movie. And I just shake my head when I see people going, that wasn't Luke. And I'm just like, if you don't think that was Luke, then you've never watched Star Wars. Sorry. Like, if you don't know and recognize that the Luke Skywalker we got in The Last Jedi is completely consistent with the Luke we've had in the franchise so far, then I got to ask you, when's the last time you watched The Empire Strikes Back? When's the last time you watched Return of the Jedi? Because if you're saying that Luke in The Last Jedi is completely inconsistent with the Luke, then I got to wonder when's the last time you saw those movies, because, son, those were completely consistent with that Jedi. But whatever. That's another debate for another time. But yeah, that's one of the things I really loved about it. But I still think that it's not really the same philosophies between Kylo and Luke, because Luke, he evolved by the time that movie ended, and I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, Zelda Ninja writes, I saw Thor the Dark World. I thought it was okay. Yeah, I think Thor the Dark World is okay. I'm with you on that. I think it's okay. The thing is, the first Thor movie is freaking unbelievable. I think the first Thor movie is probably the second most underrated comic book movie of all time. The most underrated comic book movie of all time is Man of Steel. But I believe the second most underrated comic book movie of all time is the first Thor. What the great Kenneth Branagh did with those characters in that story, made it a story about a son and his insecurities about his place in his family and sons and fathers. And I just thought it was great. And because it was so great, the okayness of Thor the Dark World really felt like a major step down. So I agree. I thought it was okay, but just okay for a Thor movie was pretty disappointing to me. I think that's where you get a lot of the reaction from. All right. Murray Reich writes, I love how some people are crying like this will be the worst Super Bowl, yet they forget about Super Bowl 48 between the Seahawks and the Broncos. Yeah, that was a beatdown. Oh my God, that game was a total destruction. And I remember that game because I did not watch that game live. And the reason I didn't watch that game live was because Anne was really sick. Like, she just got one of these brutal, Anne doesn't get sick often, but she got a brutal flu. I don't know if it was a brutal flu or a brutal cold or whatever you want to call it, but she caught some kind of bug and it knocked her on her ass. And I remember we were supposed to go to a friend's place and watch the Super Bowl, but Anne was so laid up that I didn't even turn on the TV. I just stayed at home with her, and I missed the game. But I kept looking up the score. I'm like, holy crap, this is a beatdown. I think this game's going to be great. Are you kidding me? You've got the GOAT. Everybody take a moment and bow your head for the awesomeness that is Tom Brady. Okay, so you got the GOAT versus this up-and-coming powerhouse team of the LA Rams. Exciting, explosive offense. I think this is going to be a hell of a game. Even if my Patriots lose, I think this is going to be a hell of a game, and I'm very excited to watch this game. Okay. Siem writes, if Professor Charles Xavier can move stuff with his mind, why can't he move his legs? No, sir, you are confusing telekinesis with telepathy. Charles Xavier is a telepath. He's not a telekinetic. He's a telepath. Jean Grey is both a telepath and a telekinetic. I believe Nate Grey, also known as X-Man, is both a telepath and a telekinetic and all that kind of stuff. But Charles is a telepath. He doesn't have telekinesis. Telekinesis is the ability to move things with your mind. Telepathy is the ability to read minds and do mind stuff. So Charles, not a telekinetic, he is a telepath, and that's why it doesn't change anything with his legs. All right. Godzilla Love Campea. Which of these are bigger stories? Finding out which actor is going to play Batman, Superman, Wolverine, Dark Vader. I think you mean Darth Vader or Iron Man. Oh, that's easy. Batman. Batman. It's absolutely Batman. There is no doubt. It's completely Batman. Finding out who the new Superman is, big news. Finding out who Wolverine is, big news. Finding out who, I don't know why you'd have another Darth Vader, and finding out who the next Iron Man will be, big news, for sure. But who's going to play Batman next is as much a tradition as who's going to be the next Bond. And so I totally believe the bigger news is who's going to be Batman next. And by the way, I still think they've already cast Batman. Now, I don't know that for a fact. I'm not saying anything, anybody's told me that, not at all, but I just 100% believe they've already cast Batman. Warner Brothers and the actor already knows who Batman is. We just don't know. And I don't know how long they're going to make us wait to tell us. Let's see. Julius Goodwin writes, have you seen the new Punisher hot toy where he wears the War Machine armor? It looks pretty incredible. No, I haven't, but give me a second here. Let's see. Punisher War Machine hot toy. Let me see if I can find it here. Woo! Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's pretty. Let me bring it over here so you guys can look at the pretty. Isn't that pretty? I like that. Oh, crap. I might. Woo. Oh, it's like $340. Oh, I don't know that I can spend that kind of money on a toy, but man, yeah, dude, that's pretty. That's some pretty good looking stuff. Ben Rayner writes, Legend of Tomorrow is great this season, but it increased the wackiness from last season, so you might not like it. I embrace it and enjoy the hell out of it. I see why you don't like it, though. For me, it's fun. Yeah, here's the thing with Legends of Tomorrow. I like the concept, and I like the original cast. I have not been fond of all the cast changes, and it felt like every episode and every season was like, okay, I'm enjoying it enough to watch it again. And then I'll watch the next episode. I'm like, okay, I didn't love it, but I liked it enough to watch the next episode. By the end of last season, I was just like, nah, I give up. I give up. And I haven't watched any of the Legends of Tomorrow this season. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have some Saturday where maybe Anne's out of town and I've got, an afternoon to kill. And maybe I'll jump on the CW app and I'll watch, the Legends of Tomorrow that we have up to this point. I don't know. But yeah, it's just something that kind of lost me. And but I don't know. Who knows? But I'm glad you like it, Ben. I'm glad you're having a good time with it. I know a number of people that actually quite like it. But yeah, it just lost me. I watched it. Like I said, I watched it all the way up to the end of last season. And I'm just like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I've had enough. I'm Upset writes, remember the rumors of Triplet being cast as Thor? I don't even know who. Oh, are you saying Triple H? Oh, okay. Those were never real. That was never legit. I mean, there was never anything real to that. So, nothing to worry about. If you mean Triple H, that is. Sempaigar writes, this is just coming from a guy that doesn't watch football, but why do they get pop stars for Super Bowl halftime shows? Wouldn't you want a rock band? Why? And guess what? There are football players that love country music. There are football players that love hip hop. There are football players that like rock and roll. There are football players that like pop. There are football players that like classical. And there are football fans that like hip hop. There are football fans who like country music. There are football fans who like rock and roll. There are football fans who like pop. Besides, the halftime show is about giving an additional draw for people to tune in and watch. And I think they got Maroon 5 this year. That's a big draw. Maroon 5 is a big draw. So yeah. And by the way, they've had rock bands. They've had Aerosmith, and they've had rock bands, but there's no one genre of music that applies to football. So that's kind of my thoughts on that, Sempaigar. All right, Jay Bling writes, considering The Rock kind of dwarfs Statham, I hope there's a scene where Hobbs knocks out some bad guys by tossing shot them a la Get Help. Well, yeah, but they're great at showing off Statham as a wrecking machine. Yes, The Rock is bigger and stronger, but Statham is faster and maybe the better technical fighter. So it's really cool, but that would be kind of cool to see like a little bit of a Colossus and Wolverine fastball special. If The Rock like picks up Statham and throws him at some fools, that could be kind of fun. I'd be down for that, Jay Bling. Joshua Howard writes, just for fun amongst us movie fans, who would win in a fight between Sean Penn and Joe Pesci? Oh, that's easy. Sean Penn. Have you seen Sean Penn? Sean Penn is ripped. Like, Sean Penn is like always in ridiculous muscular shape. So yeah, who'd win in a fight? I mean, that's unfair. That's unfair. Sean Penn would easily win that fight, no doubt about it. Now, we can debate about who's the better actor, sure, but who wins in a fight? Yeah, that's going to be Sean Penn, my friend. Sean Penn is going to win that fight. All right. ZMG Ruler writes, I'm hearing Robert Pattinson is Batman now. Oh, I wouldn't listen to that at all. Can you imagine the backlash on that? And by the way, I'd be all for Robert Pattinson as Batman. He is a hell of an actor. Get over the whole Twilight nonsense everybody keeps holding on to. Get over that shit. He is one effing amazing actor. He's a great actor. But no, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. And I highly doubt those rumors are coming from any decent sources. Marie Seifring writes, did you like How to Train Your Dragon 3? Very much. Very much. I saw 2 highly anticipated animated movies yesterday. I went to go see the Lego Movie 2, and I went to go see How to Train Your Dragon 3. If you can only pick one, go to see How to Train Your Dragon 3. I don't think it's as good as the first 2, but the first 2 are so damn good, and this one is really damn good too. So I think this third one is the third best of the franchise, but wonderful nonetheless. And by the way, the last 15 minutes might be the best 15 minutes in the entire series. The last 15 minutes of this movie might be the best 15 minutes to me of pure filmmaking out of the entire How to Train Your Dragon series. So I think it's the third best movie of the bunch, but it's still wonderful. Lego Movie, I'll do full reviews of these, but Lego Movie to me is good. Lego Movie 2 is good, and I enjoyed it. It's got like a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes like now, so it's enjoyable. It does not come anywhere near, in my opinion at any rate, it doesn't come anywhere near the quality of the first one. And I don't know that I'm going to watch it again. I mean, like I said, I liked it. I give it a thumbs up. It's funny. It's certainly got some charm, but it has nowhere near the amount of laughs or charm or heart that the first one had. That's just kind of my feelings on it. But it's still good. Like I said, it's got 90-some% Rotten Tomatoes. It's still good, but I'm just saying, if you could only pick one to see, I would say spend your money on How to Train Your Dragon 3. I think you're going to get better value for that. That's just my opinion on that. I'm not crap talking the Lego Movie. I like it. It doesn't come close to the first one. Again, that's just my opinion. Others may disagree. All right. Dropkick Aggie writes, wish I could see your face when my boy Josh Reynolds, fellow Aggie, catches 2 TDs over the heads of your Patriots D in a Rams win. Where can I send you a picture so your tears don't stain the floor? It's funny. I get that every year from those that fall at the feet of the GOAT. But like I said, I'm predicting that the Rams will win. It don't matter though, because guess what? Even if your little Rams win today, and they very well may win today, and good for you if you win today. Good for you if you win today. That's great. Way to go, champ. You'll never go to 9 Super Bowls. Not under the same quarterback. I like Goff. I like him a lot. He ain't ever going to 9 Super Bowls. He ain't ever going to have 5 rings on his finger. He ain't ever going to be the GOAT. So this one season, way to go, champs. Way to go. If your team does win, and I kind of think they will, hey, attaboy. Way to go. Now stand aside. The GOAT is coming through. The guy with 9 Super Bowl appearances, 5 rings on his finger, and if he does win today, it'll be 6. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this year, Rams look real good. They shouldn't even be in the Super Bowl because it should be the Saints, because the referees screwed over the Saints, but hey, whatever. But I like this Rams team. I like them a lot. I think they're very good, and I think they're going to win. I do. I think they're going to win. But it don't matter in the grand scheme of things. They ain't the GOAT, and they ain't the Patriots, and they will never have the legacy and the dynasty that these Patriots have had under the GOAT. Everybody bow your head for a second for the GOAT. Under the GOAT, Tom Brady. It's never going to be the same. So enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. I'm just cheering for a good game, and I'll give the Rams a good attaboy too. But then let the reality sink in that you got to enjoy these fleeting little moments, because it ain't ever going to be the dynasty that the GOAT, bow your head, that the GOAT has had. So enjoy your moment. It's fleeting. Samuel Phillips. Where'd we go? Oh, dear. How far do I got to go back? Okay, here we go. Samuel Phillips writes, John, do you believe in Bigfoot? Let's put it this way. Let me put it this way. Every year, we see some sort of reports about new species being discovered that we never... It wasn't that long ago that we never knew a platypus was, or that a platypus existed. Now we do. So, do I believe there are still things in remote wildernesses that may exist that we've never really discovered? Sure. Do I believe in Bigfoot? I don't know. I don't know about that. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to dismiss it out of hand. Because, I mean, there are so many variants of the Bigfoot mythology across multiple cultures. And like I said, I believe we're discovering... I was just on CNN the other day, like this new form of marine life that we had never discovered before. They just discovered. What? So, I mean, I'm not going to say it's zero, but, I mean, if I put money on it, I'd say no. But, who knows? I still think there are some mysteries in this world. Vince Carter of Mars, I love that name. Change the name to companion videos to intimate conversations with my computer. Love the show. Been a subscriber since the Infinity War spoiler review. Well, thank you so much, Vincent. Yeah, of course, what he's talking about is the other day, I tried to record a companion video, and I forgot to hit the record button. And I spoke for almost an hour and 45 minutes just to a computer that wasn't recording because I hit the stream button instead of the record button. But oh well. I made up for it. I re-recorded it with some additional questions that got sent in, and it was 2 hours long. Yeah, the video I put up last night, the companion video I put up last night was 2 hours long. So it ended up being pretty long. Let's see. Never mind, I still don't get likes rights. I could see your name as J Camp as a rapper. I don't know that I would have J... I mean, I used to do a little bit of rapping back in my breakdancing days. And by the way, I'm not kidding. I used to be a professional breakdancer. Let that sink in for a second. How scary of a thought is that? J-Camp? Sure, why not? Why not J-Camp? And even Cornflakes is going to back you up. Cornflakes is saying, J-Camp. That's catchy. There you go. Apparently, I am now J-Camp. DC Patience writes, finally saw Venom. I loved it. Tom Hardy really sold it, and Venom was awesome. Over under 23% that we get an animated like Spider-Verse. Ooh, well... animated feature film, I'll take the under 23%. Some cheap animated straight to Netflix series, maybe. Some cheap animated straight to the Cartoon Network, maybe. But an animated feature film while we've got live action Venom going, I'm gonna take the under on that. I'm gonna take the under on that. And yeah, I was so surprised about how much fun I had with that Venom movie. I had a lot of fun with that Venom movie. And I was surprised by it. And you know what? I've got it in my Google Play Store. So every once in a while, I'll just be on my Google Play Store and, Venom. I'll just watch 15 minutes of it and hit play. I'm very entertained by that movie. I don't know why. I just am. All right. James L.H. writes, seen Vice the other day, liked it, but not sure about the Best Picture nomination. I agree with the 66% Rotten Tomato rating. Bale was excellent, though. Bale was excellent. And I agree as well. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I don't agree with it getting a Best Picture nomination. I don't believe it should get a Best Picture nomination. And Bale was great. Sure. I don't think he should win Best Actor, but I think he was great. I think a lot of the cast was great, as a matter of fact. But I just wasn't as nearly taken with it as you think you would be for a movie. I just think that was a movie that had more potential. And I liked it. And if you're going to ask me whether I give Vice a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I give it a thumbs up. But is it Best Picture material? I don't think so. But hey, that's why all film is subjective, man. Let's see. Where are we at here? Ian McEwen writes, Hey, John, what's your favorite Jackie Earle Haley performance? I wasn't a fan of Watchmen, but thought he was fantastic as Rorschach. He was great. I'm not even a big fan of Watchmen either, but he was great in that. And by the way, he's in Narcos Mexico. Not a huge role. I thought he was really good in that. I thought him and Michael Pena were great together in that. I like Jackie Earle Haley quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't mean to sound just like a comic book movie homer or anything like that, but I'll tell you what, I really do enjoy, him as Rorschach. I really do. I just think he's fantastic in that role. I think it's his best performance. But he's just the type of actor right now that I kind of look forward to seeing him in anything. Oh, by the way, he was also pretty damn good in Preacher. So if you haven't seen him in Preacher, you should check that out. Let's see. Marie Seifring writes, how excited are you for Ford versus Ferrari, the movie with James Mangold coming in June? Very excited for it. Because not only that, let me just bring it up. He's got an incredible cast for it. Hold on a second. Because you got John Bernthal, you got Christian Bale, but it's not just those two. It's also Matt Damon's in it. I forgot about Matt Damon's in it. Josh Lucas is in it. Ray McKinnon's in it. It's a dynamite cast. You've got James Mangold, the guy who directed Logan, is directing it. It's based on a true story, and I'm always a bit of a sucker for the based on a true story stuff. I'm always a sucker for that stuff. So yeah, I just don't see anything to not be excited about when it comes to Ford versus Ferrari. I see nothing to not be excited about. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked for it, Maria. I'm pretty stoked. All right, Mike Hill. John, I have a problem. I have butterflies in my stomach when I see Ashley on screen. I can't explain. It's one of those times where eyes meet across the room and you just feel something weird. I know, well, Ashley's a great girl. Of course, I think there's something wrong with you if you didn't. I mean, she's smart. She's really cool. She's very pretty. I totally get it. There's nothing wrong with you. I mean, I think that's a natural reaction to when you see somebody as attractive as either myself or Ashley. I mean, more me, clearly more me. I mean, I'm kind of the epitome of what it means to be a good-looking man. We all understand this. But yeah, that's totally natural reaction. But like I always say, man, just enjoy it while you can, because I don't think she's going to be around for long, because she's gonna have a great career. She's already very, very busy in her career, and I just don't know that she's going to have time to do this job for much longer. But enjoy her while she lasts, man. Enjoy her while she lasts. All right. James L.H. writes, let's see, where'd it go? There it is. James L.H. writes, also seen Leave No Trace yesterday. Really good. Surprise, it's not a Best Picture nomination. Not a win, but a nom, especially with a rare 100% rating. Just let me make sure. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I just did that. There we go. Just make sure I'm thinking of the right movie, because I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the wrong movie. Oh, no, it is the right movie. Why was I thinking? I had in my head, that's the Ben Foster one. Then I thought, wait a minute, no, it's something else. I loved it. And Ben Foster, look, I've been telling you guys for ages, there are two actors in this business that nobody pays enough attention to. And that is Chiwetel Ejiofor and Ben Foster. Ben Foster, who was in a movie with two of the greatest actors in our generation, Christian Bale and Russell Crowe. He was in 3:10 to Yuma, which is also another really good movie you should check out. But Ben Foster's in a movie with Russell Crowe and Christian Bale, and he upstages both of them. Wrap your head around that. That's no small feat. He's great. And yeah, super. Again, to me, not a Best Picture of the Year, but really good. And by the way, you could have said Ben Foster gets a Best Actor nomination. I would have had no problems with that. I would have had no problems with that, because it is very, very good. Let's see. Stella McShave writes, if you were to square off with Ed O'Neill, who would win? Ooh, I will say me. If I'm just being honest, I will say me. If you were to ask me who would, because Ed's getting up in years. If you were to ask me that same question 5 years ago, I'd probably say Ed O'Neill. By the way, Bundy, Mr. Bundy isn't just some funny haha. He's a legit martial artist. A lot of people don't know that about Ed O'Neill. Dude is a legit martial artist. And so I would take me in that fight today, but 5 years ago, I'm not so sure about that. I'm pretty not so sure about that at all. All right. Ben Rayner writes, did you ever see Whatever Works, Woody Allen movie starring Larry David? Henry Cavill had a small role. No, I never did. That's one Woody Allen film I did not see. Let me just look that up here quick. Whatever Works. It's 2000. That's right. I remember this. No, I didn't watch it. But now I didn't even know what you were talking about there for a second. But now I know the film you're talking about. No, I did not see it. But I'm trying to look down. Oh, Samantha Bee was in that. Evan Rachel Wood is in it. Yeah. So I did not get a chance to see it, though. I have not had a chance to see it. Okay, let's move on here. Nathan Oswald writes, maybe it's nostalgia, but my favorite Jon Voight role is Mr. Sir in Holes. I'm telling you what, I wasn't huge on his performance or on his role or his performance or anything in Ray Donovan. But the more I've watched that show, and as the seasons have progressed, I have loved this character, Mickey Donovan, more and more and more. Now, Voight has had a long, illustrious career, a lot of highlights and all that kind of stuff. But I got to tell you, he is as scene-stealing as Liev Schreiber is. I would almost say he's kind of the heartbeat of the movie. He's kind of the ever-present antagonist of the film, but I'll tell you what, Jon Voight as Mickey Donovan is amazing. And if you haven't watched Ray Donovan, watch it just for that, because he's really, truly something special in it. Let's see. Mr. Golfwang 969 writes, finally saw Mean Streets the other day. Incredible film. Do you have a favorite from Scorsese? Yeah, my favorite, well, first of all, yes. But my favorite from Scorsese is probably The Departed. And I'm not just saying that because it finally won him a Best Director Oscar. I'm not just saying that because it won Best Picture. And I'm not just saying that because it's a remake of my all-time favorite cop film, Infernal Affairs. I just think it is one hell of a movie. It's one hell of a movie. And Scorsese has many hell of a movies that he has made over his career and over his life. But yeah, for me, I got to stick with The Departed. I freaking love that film. Love that film. Jacob Bartley writes, have you seen the original Wicker Man? Thoughts? Oh yeah, I've seen it many times. I'm sure everybody's seen it many times. It's creepy as hell, man. It's a strange movie. Like, there are some people who's like, oh, it's one of the greats. I don't think it's one of the greats, but it's really a good watch. And it's weird and it's strange, and you got Christopher Lee and all that kind of stuff. But obviously the Nick Cage version was better. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. But yeah, it's a totally freaky movie, man. It's a totally freaky movie. Let's see. Darren Chavez writes, I agree with you. Anne Hathaway doesn't deserve the hate she gets. Do you know why? I just found out months ago she was if before... What? Let me try that again, Darren. I agree with you. Anne Hathaway doesn't deserve the hate she gets. Do you know why? I just found out months ago was if before or after she got the Oscar. I don't know what it is. You follow up by saying she's a great actress, been in a lot of great movies. Yes to both of those. I just found out months ago was if before or after she got the... I don't know what it is you're saying, Darren, but I will completely agree that Anne Hathaway is a treasure. All right? I don't know why it became the cool thing to bag on Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway is a freaking treasure. She is a remarkable actress, super cute. I mean, there's nothing. I thought she would be the worst part. I did not like her casting in Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, and she was the best part of Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. She's amazing. She's great. I love her. She's wonderful. Anyway, Pool of Dead writes, Endgame spot tonight, please. Hashtag Justice for Saints. That should be the hashtag, Justice for Saints. Justice for the Saints. Anyway, I still don't think so. If there is, I think it will be on YouTube around the Super Bowl, not during the Super Bowl, but you never know. I mean, they very well may. Disney has played spots on the Super Bowl before. They may very well do it again. I'm just saying I don't think so, but they may. They absolutely may. All right. Let's move on here. Pool of Dead writes, when do you think Endgame box office tracking comes out? Probably about, the first long range will probably be about 2 months before the movie comes out. So maybe end of this month, beginning of March. End of February, beginning of March is when I'm going to guess the long range tracking will start. But remember, the long range tracking is just a first pitch, right? It's really the tracking when you get to within 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Those are the numbers that really start to matter. But yeah, I'm going to guess the first long range tracking, probably end of this month. Ramsey Hamdi writes, hey, John, I bought Pride. Very good. Will you write more? Well, first of all, thank you so much, Ramsey, for mentioning that. And let me just hold a second here. Let me just see if I can actually find, you'd think I would have an image just sitting around, but I don't. That's small. Is there a bigger one? I'll go this one. Sure, I'll put this one up here. For those of you who don't know, I wrote a novel. It is called The Pride. There it is there. Let me see if I can boost that up a little bit in size. There we go. So that's my novel. It's called The Pride, and I'm very proud of it. I am not a novel writer, clearly. This will not be the greatest novel you've ever read in your life, clearly. But I'm very proud of it. Just, I am one of those people that everyone likes to talk about. I want to write a book someday. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. Whether I'm great at it or terrible at it, I'm going to do it. Everybody talks about, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to do it. I made a movie. One of the big reasons I made a movie, my first movie, was because that everybody talks about, I want to make a movie someday. I just said, screw it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to pay for it myself. I'm going to write it. I'm going to produce it, direct it. Everybody talks about it. So when I think about doing things, I don't just like to think about it. I like to actually do it. Quit talking about doing the things you want to do. Ladies and gentlemen, stop talking about doing the things you want to do. Go out and do the things you want to do. You got something you want to try? You want something you want to experience at? You want something, that you can do? Just do it. Just go do it. Nothing's stopping you. Go do it. So anyway, that's me. But anyway, Ramsey, thank you so much for the kind words, and thanks for reading my book. Do I think I will write more? Look, I wrote The Pride with a sequel in mind, but look, because of the off and on nature of it, it took me 5 years to write it. Now, if I just sat down and did nothing else but write it, I could have written it much faster than that. But with the off and on nature of it, because I have other things and I have work and blah, 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 and I would go like 6 months without touching it, and then I'd work on it for a while, then go another month without touching it, then work on it for a while. It took me 5 years. I just don't know that right now that I got the time to write another one. I hope I get to at some point, though. I do hope I get to at some point. Okay. Nathan Oswald writes, even though Fast and Furious 1 sucks, I love Toretto's line, it doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile, winning's winning. It's a great line. And that is a great line. Winning's winning. And winning cures everything. I almost had you, he says. It doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or win by a mile. Winning's winning. You're right, Nathan. That is a great line. And as much as I trash talk the first Fast and Furious for being a blatant ripoff of Point Break, it does have its moments. It certainly has its moments. And that one line, Nathan, is absolutely one of those really good moments. All right. Impact 7 writes, James Gunn was offered Man of Steel 2. Thoughts? No, he was not. Look, let's be very clear about this, and I'll bring this up again tomorrow. He was not offered Man of Steel 2. Basically what it was that we all knew that every studio was lining up to offer James Gunn anything he wanted, including Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers has no plans for doing another Superman movie, but that didn't matter because they even said to James Gunn, look, if you want, you can even do Superman if you want. It wasn't Man of Steel 2. They offered him Superman to do whatever he wanted to do with Superman. They had no plans to make another Superman movie, but if that's what it was going to take to get James Gunn to come, they were going to let him do a Superman movie. And by the way, it wasn't necessarily Man of Steel 2. But James Gunn decided that he thought he was more interested in doing a Suicide Squad movie and redoing Suicide Squad and retooling it. And that's why they're not even calling the next one Suicide Squad 2. They're calling it The Suicide Squad right now because it's kind of be a reboot in a way and retooled. Different team, different actors, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he was not offered Man of Steel 2. That implies that Warner Brothers is committed to doing Man of Steel 2, and they're not. They just said, hey, even though we got no plans for Superman, if that's what it's going to take, James Gunn, for you to come and do it, we'll put Superman on the table. You want to make a Superman movie? Do whatever you want with it. And he was like, nah, I love Superman, but I think I want to try something with this Suicide Squad. I think I could do something really fun with Suicide. And that's what they did. So and I'm sure we'll talk about that more on the Jon Campea show tomorrow. All right. Where we go here. Tom Wigenberg writes, saw Superman the movie in theater yesterday, 40th anniversary. Very nice. Very nice. Loved it. Came home and then watched Man of Steel for the 50th time. Loved it. Great day for Supes fan like me. Yeah, like I've always said, the original Superman, it doesn't hold up well today. But because it doesn't really hold up well today, a lot of fans today don't realize how freaking revolutionary that movie was in its time. It was so far ahead of itself. It was so far ahead of everything else, I should say. And there was a reason that why the main marketing line for that movie was, you'll believe a man can fly. Because it was so, we look at the flying effects now and go, oh, that's stupid. But at the time, it was so far ahead of its time. And for them to handle a comic book movie character like the way they handled Superman in that movie was so far ahead of its time. And so I talked to a lot of people today who just watched the first Superman movie recently, and they're like, it's okay. It doesn't really hold up. Yeah, but you don't understand. At the time, it was so far ahead of everything else. And that's very awesome that you got a chance to watch it in theaters for that event. That is really, really awesome, Tom. All right. Durma1 writes, did you hear Gunn had a choice to direct Superman? It's funny. Yes, I did. But the reality is, other than maybe Batman, because he's tied up right now, they were going to let James Gunn do anything he wanted. Let's be clear about that. Warner Brothers, with maybe the exception of Batman, because he's tied up with Matt Reeves right now, and probably also with the exception of Wonder Woman, because Patty Jenkins has a lock on that, they would have let James Gunn do anything he wanted. Hell, I'll bet you dollars to dimes. No, I take that back. I was going to say, I bet you they even would have let him make a Justice League 2 if he wanted, but nah, that's probably the one thing Walter Hamada wouldn't have let him do, because that's against his philosophy right now. But seriously, other than Batman and Wonder Woman, because they're tied up with directors right now, they would have given him anything. And that includes Superman. I'm kind of glad he went with Suicide Squad, though. I think he's going to do a great Suicide Squad. I think that's a great fit. Jaron Morris writes, Julian Riching's role in Supernatural is awesome. That's great. I don't know who that is. Hold a second. Julian Richings. I honestly don't know the name of the lot. Other than the main guys, I don't really know a lot of the actors' names. Supernatural. Who does he play in Supernatural? Oh, he's Death. Or at least he was, until Dean killed him. But yes, Julian Richards played Death, and he was great in that role. I loved the Death character. I loved that character. And I love the mythology they built around Death, and his ring, and his Reapers, and he was great. Now that I see it, for those of you who don't know who we're talking about, I'll just bring the picture on screen quick, because I didn't know the name off the top of my head either. So this is Julian Richings. And again, he plays Death in Supernatural, and I loved him in that role. Loved him in that role in Supernatural. I thought he was really great till they killed him. Okay, let's just a couple of questions more here, guys, and then we'll all go get ready for our Super Bowl festivities. Darren Chavez writes, I meant, did she started getting hate after she won the Oscar or before she won the... Okay, thank you for clarifying that, Darren. It was after. It was after. For whatever reason, she won the Academy Award, and then everybody turned on her. And I'll never get that. I'll never understand that. I thought she was fantastic in Les Mis. I thought she deserved that Academy Award. I thought she was wonderful in that role. I think she's been wonderful in everything that she does, and I just don't get the hate for, my friend. I just don't get the hate for. Joel Mumford writes, what is your favorite Batman movie from the 90s? Ooh, from the night. Well, God, which ones are in the 90s? Let's just see, because I can't even remember which ones were in the 90s or not. Okay, so the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton and Jack was in 89, so that doesn't count. So there's only 3 really to choose from. Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, or Batman Returns. I'm going to go, you know what? I think Batman Forever gets a bit of a bad rap. I know a lot of people hated it. You know what? No, I'm going to go Batman Returns. Batman Returns. I say Batman Returns is my favorite from the 90s. Let's see. Ram Arma 30 writes, that Fast and Furious trailer, I was expecting Atomic Blonde meets The Raid, and I got more of the same. Disappointing. If you're talking about Hobbs and Shaw, I don't know. I thought it looked awesome. I thought that trailer was awesome. It had just the right amount of all the things I wanted to be in it. So, yeah, I don't think it should be. Remember, though, it is the director of John Wick. So you're going to get, and you do have Jason Statham, who's a terrific on-screen combat performer. So you're going to get a lot of that. But I thought for what this trailer needed to be, it was perfect. I thought that's exactly, you didn't need to show off a trailer with a whole bunch of martial arts going on. That's not what's going to win everybody over. It's the dynamic and the wit and the banter. That's what's going to get the big audiences out, and then you thrill them with the action. But I think it's going to be the charm and all that kind of stuff that gets them out to the theater. Tom Wisenberg writes, John, you missed a few super chats between Impact 7 James Gunn's question and my Superman the movie comment. Actually, I thought I read a Superman the movie. Let me go back and double check that. It's happened. I've accidentally skipped over things before. Where is Impact 7? Oh, yeah, the Titans. Oh, okay. I missed the Titans one. You're right, I did miss a couple. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. I will go back and address those right now. Tom wrote, I really like Titans. Like you, I have reservations about Robin in live action, but I thought the show did an excellent job of exploring that with Dick. Other characters in action are awesome as well. And then Tom followed that up with, however, season 1 of Titans was structured weirdly and felt unfinished. If you haven't seen it yet, it might be best to wait until season 2 to binge because it felt like part 1 of 2. Well, I don't really have a problem with that. I don't mind things feeling like a part 1, as long as you do that the right way. Many times we've seen television shows and movies done as a part 1, but they're not executed the right way, and it just feels like this was nothing but an advertising for part 2. That's when it's a problem. That's when it's a problem. But you see, let's go back to Lord of the Rings, right? Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring was definitely, when you got to the end, it felt like a part 1. But it did not just feel like an advertisement for part 2. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 just felt like a commercial for The Amazing Spider-Man 3 or Sinister Six. Lord of the Rings didn't feel like a commercial for part 2. It just felt like a part 1 and done very well. So I have no problem with that. Again, I didn't think the Titans looked very good. So I was not motivated to go and buy the DC streaming service just for that one show. I will watch it and I will binge it. And I'm hearing a number of people, Tom, like yourself, telling me that they actually quite enjoyed it. Even people who did not think it looked very good. I've also heard from people who are saying it's getting overrated, that it's not actually that good, but whatever. I'm hearing some good stuff. And I am curious to watch it. But because I just thought the trailers were terrible, I don't feel an overwhelming need to ditch what I'm watching right now just to start watching Titans. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Once the DC streaming service adds Swamp Thing, then I'm going to sign up, because then there'll be multiple original programs on there that I can watch and enjoy. As long as it's just Titans, I'm going to wait. As long as it's just Titans, I'm going to wait. Once they get some new original content on there, live action content, I will probably check it out. But yeah, Tom, you're not alone. I've been hearing from a number of people that they did enjoy the film or the show, and I am curious. I will say that. I'm not excited about it, but I will say I am curious because I'm hearing good things. So let's kind of wait and see how that all turns out. And by the way, my apologies that everyone, look, the jump happens in my scrolling sometimes. And sometimes that means I miss a couple questions. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, Tom. I appreciate that. All right. All right, then I missed another one from Darren, who writes, I like the statement she, talking about Anne Hathaway, made about Princess Diaries 3, that she wanted the script to be perfect and doesn't want to deliver anything until it's ready. What a great lady, right? Well, let's be honest. Lots of actors say that about things. We just want the script to be perfect. It's the right thing to say. Don't get me wrong. That is the right thing to say. But it's also a little cookie cutter. We hear them say that, and that's also often used as an excuse. Like, why are you 3 years late with this movie? Oh, we just want the script to be perfect. Stop BSing us. What's the real issue? That's all. But, hey, that is the right thing to say. And I hope for people who are fans of the Princess Diaries franchise, I hope they do get around to making that third one. But yeah, Anne, she was very diplomatic. She says the right things. I think she's a total charmer. I love Anne Hathaway. I absolutely love Anne Hathaway. All right. Nathan Oswald writes, Al Pacino's booty sweat, pop and ass open, available at concessions now. Guys, one of the best. First of all, I just love Tropic Thunder. I love Tropic Thunder. But oh my God, you can't think of Tropic Thunder without the fake trailers and the fake commercials. Al Pacino's booty sweat. He's with his cola. Oh my God. But all the fake trailers in that are hilarious. Some of the best stuff ever. I want them to make a Tropic Thunder 2 just to have another 15-minute opening of fake trailers. That's all I want. That's all I want. It's such a great moment. Let's see, Stella McShave. Hey, John, a.k.a. Toothless. How about a tooth update? Well, I'll give you a tooth update. Right now, this is not a real tooth. This one is my my stay plate. And for those of you who may remember, back about 5 months ago, the crown on this tooth fell off because I had this tooth broken in one of my classes. And I had a crown put on it, and then the crown didn't last because a few years later, the crown came off, and my new dentist said the whole tooth's got to come out. So what they did is they put in an implant, which is this screw. They drilled this bolt, this screw, into my skull under the gum line. And then it's got to sit there for 6 months while the screw properly grafts itself to the bone. Then, after 6 months, which is coming up pretty soon, I will go in and then they will attach a permanent crown to the screw and replace that permanently. So for now, this, you see, this is a little bit wider than the rest of my teeth. For now, that's just a stay plate that's in there to keep the shape of the teeth properly. But I'm going to be getting my crown replaced probably in another month or two is when I'll probably get one. Let's see. Where are we? Carrie Neves writes, my local AMC doesn't discount concessions for members. Well, no. Well, okay, look, AMC doesn't discount prices of food for A-list or Stubs members. That's not how it works. But what you do get is if you're a Stubs member or an AMC A-list member, you get free upgrades. So you can pay for medium popcorn, but get a large popcorn. You can pay for a small soda, but get a large soda. So that's what you get. And then you get points that turn into money that you can redeem later on. But you're right, they don't give you just discounts. Okay, then we got to Tom Superman. So let's move on from there. Let's see, where are we at? And we're now at Nathan Skies, who writes, over under 50% of the time you say no pun intended, you're lying. No, honestly, when I say no pun intended, I really mean no pun intended. I'll realize, oh, that sounds like I'm making a pun, but I will stop and say no pun intended. So no, honestly, when I say no pun intended, Nathan, honestly, I meant no pun intended. Really, I'm being sincere. Anthony Cullen writes, good day, Super Bowl and my really, your birthday's on the Super Bowl day. That's kind of awesome. Okay, so good day, Super Bowl and my birthday. The only thing to make it better is Avengers 4 TV spot. Here's hoping. I mean, I don't think it's happening, but we can hope. Maybe it will. Wouldn't that be exciting, man? Wouldn't that be exciting? Almost as exciting as Tom Brady, bow your heads for a moment for the GOAT, almost as exciting as Tom Brady getting not his first, second, third, fourth, fifth, nay, his sixth Super Bowl ring. His sixth. And when he gets it, Ma will appear and go, no other mortal has the might, nay, the nobility, to not wield one, but six infinity Super Bowl rings. That's Ma will appear, and all the world will bow a head and genuflect to the GOAT. If that happens, I think LA's going to win, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Mr. Golfwang 969 writes, of the latest installments of the new Star Wars films, which do you love the most? I would say The Force Awakens. Can't get enough of it, but I definitely love everything they put out so far. Yeah, for me, it's The Force Awakens. I love that movie. I like it more and more every time I watch it. And I've told this story before, but, me and Schnepp, we used to, have some time to kill, in between shooting a movie talk and then we got a Heroes to do in, 4 hours. It's like, let's run across the street to the AMC Burbank 16 and watch The Force Awakens again, because we would get in for free. And we went and would watch it again and again. And every time we would watch it, we like more. Now, I love Rogue One. But Force Awakens takes that spot to me. So, to me, here's how I rank my Star Wars movies. You got the original trilogy. Nothing's ever touched that. Then after the original trilogy, it's The Force Awakens, Rogue One, Solo, The Last Jedi, and then the prequels. So that's how I order it. So it's the original trilogy, and then after the original trilogy is The Force Awakens, Rogue One, Solo, The Last Jedi, and then the prequels. So that's how I kind of rank those. Let's see. George Almighty writes, just sends in a couple of super chats. Thank you, George. I appreciate that, man. Big Four Dam and Alfie Gamer writes, hey, John, have you seen Ozark on Netflix? Nearly finished season 1. Really enjoying it so far. Go Pats. Hashtag GOAT Brady. Bow your head for a moment for the GOAT Brady. I didn't like Ozark. Neither me or Ann did. I'm a big Jason Bateman fan. I was really intrigued by it. And we watched about 5 episodes. And finally we just said, let's give up on this. It didn't work for us. But it's a lot of people I know like it a lot. You're not alone, Big Four Dam. I mean, I know a number of people who really, really like Ozark. Or is it called The Ozarks? Whatever. A lot of people like it and enjoying it, and I wanted to like it. It didn't click with me for some reason. And that's okay. I didn't hate it or anything. It just didn't click for me. But like I said, man, a lot of people are enjoying it, and I'm glad you're enjoying it, my friend. All right. Rami J. Royster writes, we need more horror trailers shown in kids' films. I don't know if that's a quote for something, but that would be funny. The little kids going in to watch Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Death, kill. Kids getting therapy bills for the rest of their life. That would be hilarious. All right. Sempaigar writes, Sonya Blade, when I want backup, I'll radio for it. Scorpion and Sub-Zero show up. Johnny Cage, got that radio handy? Still wanted to... Look, Mortal Kombat, make no mistake about it, is a bad movie. But it is awesomely bad. It's one of those movies so bad, it's awesome. Christopher Lambert as Raiden? What? One of the most ridiculous things ever, but I love Christopher Lambert because he's the Highlander. By the way, he's in the Blacklist now. He's the villain of this season on the Blacklist. Always great to see Christopher Lambert pop up. Yeah. I don't know if you can make another Mortal Kombat movie. I'll be honest with you, I don't. But that first one is so cheesy. You would be next. Is so cheesy. Goro. I don't know. There's just something so special about that first Mortal Kombat movie. But make no mistake, it's terrible. But I love watching it. All right. SJ writes, I hope we see an Aladdin trailer tonight. Go Pats. Yeah, we haven't had a full Aladdin trailer yet. So that's possible. That's possible. That wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah. You know what? That's actually a really good thing. I would say of the things we are most likely to get trailers for, I would most probably say Aladdin is probably the best position to maybe get a full trailer tonight. But then again, they're not going to play a 2.5-minute spot on the Super Bowl. It's too expensive. They maybe do a TV spot and say, go watch the full trailer now on YouTube. So they might do that. I have to keep our eyes open for that. All right. Tom follows up with, about Titans Season 1, feeling like part 1 of 2. Sadly, I don't think that was done well. Apparently, they cut the original finale to implement it into Season 2. Oh, and you can feel it. That's not cool. See, that's not cool. Like, I don't mind when something feels like part 1, but if that's true and they purposely said, you know what, let's not even, we planned this as the conclusion of this season. Let's not even show them the true conclusion and make them come back and watch it. That's not cool. I don't mind cliffhangers and all that kind of stuff. But if it was designed to, that's the last episode, and then later they said, let's take off the last part of the last episode and move it into Season 2, that's not cool. I don't dig that. That's disrespectful to your audience, I think. I don't dig that at all. So if that's what you're talking about, man, then I totally see where you're coming from. I totally get your point. I do. Because that is just simply not cool. Now, again, I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to get too wound up about it. But if it's the way you're describing it, dude, I may watch it and be very unhappy. I may watch that and be very unhappy. We'll have to wait and see. All right, Cinematic Galaxy writes, let's see. Jin's hologram scene in Rogue One always gets me. Oh, I love that scene. You know, it's funny. I'll just mention this too, because you mentioned Jin. There are a lot of people who like Rogue One, but they prefer the second half of Rogue One to the first half. I'm totally the opposite. I actually prefer the first half. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the second half of Rogue One too. I do. But there's just something about the world building and the character building that's done in the first half of Rogue One that's kind of not like anything we've seen done in a Star Wars film before. And I really dig the way they approached it and did that. But absolutely, and it's because of that world building and the character building that we get later on in the film with the hologram message with Jin, that it has an impact because of all that building they did in the first half. That's why that scene's so effective, and I completely agree with you, Cinematic Galaxy. It's a great scene. Nathan Skies writes, ever going to watch the Avatar series? Best show ever? Probably not. I got too much other stuff to watch, and I don't have a lot of time for television. So I'm very picky about the stuff I will watch. So I probably won't. But I hear I'm not saying anything bad about the Avatar series. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I know a lot of people who love it, but I just probably not for me. Let's see. Snake Jerusalem writes, you missed more super chats after the MK one. I don't think I did. I think I got them all. What's the MK one? You gotta be more specific. I'm looking for MK. I've got that, 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 got that. I think I got all of them. You have to be more specific when you say, I don't know what you mean by the MK one. Oh, do you mean after the Mortal Kombat one? Is that what you mean? Let me just double check here. Oh, right. There's one from a Min. You're right. How did I miss these? I'm missing a ton of them. Thank you for pointing that out. Amin writes, what's the oldest movie you have ever seen? I don't know. I don't know. I would have to sit down and date those out. I can't do that right now, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen some old black and white movies, like some silent movies, so I'm sure those probably are them, but I don't know off the top of my head. Zelda Ninja writes, in my opinion, The Last Jedi was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was amazing, but I liked it. I have my issues with it, but there are certainly, to me, absolutely some amazing elements of it. And to me, one of the biggest amazing elements is of course, the way they handled Luke. That to me was the big amazing element. Sorry I missed those guys a little bit earlier. Now I come back down. All right, last question of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Snake, thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate that, man. Last question of the day. Roma, this is yet another reason why I need somebody else doing these with me. So Whatever. Romarama 1 writes, or 30 writes, with this Ted Bundy-centric time we're living in, do we see another serial doc film like Dahmer being explored? Probably. Look, one of the things I've really noticed, like, you guys know our friend Kaori Takei, right? Kaori and Ray, my brother-in-law Ray, are like two people who are, and I know several others, completely addicted to the true crime stuff. I mean, every time Kaori comes over, she's talking about this new true crime series on Netflix because they put out like 85 new television shows every day on Netflix. The true crime is a hot thing right now. And people just are eating it up. And I'm a sucker for true stories and true crime as well. But yeah, it's a huge thing. So I have very little doubt, Roma, that you're going to see more of this, especially if Incredibly Evil, Wicked, and Vile, especially if that's a hit. If that's a hit and goes over well, you're really going to see an explosion of this stuff. I totally believe that, because not just because the one movie's a hit, but because it's a hot thing right now in general, right? It's a totally hot thing right now for Netflix to do, and everything else is just a massive thing. So I wouldn't doubt that at all. I think you're right on the money with that. I think you're absolutely right on the money with that. All right, guys. That will do it for today's installment, a very special installment of Super Bowl Sunday Open Mic. I hope you guys have a great time today watching the GOAT. Bow your heads for Brady for a moment. And you too can become a child of Brady today. Win or lose, I just hope it's a great game. I hope we all have a good, fun time today. I hope you get to watch Super Bowl with friends and family or whatever it is you like to do on a Sunday. Maybe you're not a football fan. You get to go see a movie or just kick back, relax, and read a good book. Whatever it is you're doing this weekend, I hope you have a lot of fun doing it. That'll do it for me for now, guys. Thank you so much for being here and kicking off my Super Bowl Sunday with a lot of fun. I had a good time today. I hope you did too. My name's Jon Campea, guys, and until next time, bye-bye.